My words. Kosa. Hello guys and welcome to today's talk show of mental health awareness. We are live at Showtime Cinema Nyeri. Those who are watching us live, make sure that you have hit that subscription button, and if you haven't made your way here to Showtime Cinema, make sure you come here to support us. And kama kawaida, we are with Dubs Africa, and today's topic we are going to have chemical dependency. But before we get to the topic, introduce yourselves, tell us about yourselves. Karibuni sana.
Okay, hi, I'm Shelmith Nyambura, a member of Dubs Africa and also a psychologist.
Hi everyone, my name is Ken Kitonga, member Dubs and also a psychologist.
Okay, and my name is Washedage Konyo. I'll be your host today. So today we are talking about chemical dependency. What does it mean when I say that somebody is suffering from chemical dependency?
Okay, chemical dependency is, in simple terms, it's the body physical or psychological addiction to psychoactive drugs.
Okay.
In physical, you can give an example of alcohol. When you take alcohol, you start staggering. And in physical, let's say cocaine. Cocaine causes euphoria. So, ndio hapo ndo mtu anaanza kusema by then niko high.
Okay.
In simple terms, that is.
So it is when there are two types. You can be chemically addicted, psychologically, and physically. Okay, maybe you can elaborate more on the physical part of it. Yes, kindly.
So for example, as in when you say about alcohol, the physical part of it, when you take alcohol, when you consume alcohol, it interferes with the normal functioning of the body. So for example, the body, the more you continue using, the more it continues to interfere with your physical. That's why, for example, you can say your kidney, the liver cirrhosis, yeah, all those problems that are raising. But in psychological, I can use, for example, cocaine or marijuana. You, after you smoke or you sniff, the euphoria feeling, that feeling of getting high.
Okay.
That's the one that gets you become dependent on the drug or substance.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when do I know that I have a chemical dependency? When do I start knowing that it's getting out of hand now? When do I start noticing those? Which symptoms do I look out for?
So for the symptoms you can watch out for, the first one, I think the most common ones you can say, the first one is the loss of control.
Okay.
Second one is the cravings. Cravings, so you can see it's psychological, it's an intense desire. So unashindwa kufunction. So kama umetulia tu unasikia tu kama ni alcohol, unasikia tu intense craving. So you can't function bila hiyo. So the same thing unasema kama loss of control, tumesema you can't help yourself with it. So kama iko hapa kama ni chupa moja ama crate mzima, unasikia kukunywa tu yote mara moja.
Okay.
And the third one unasema uko sangi around wewe. For example, kama ni alcohol, maybe unataka uko nyumba, kuna pombe yako hapo. Ani constantly uko nayo around wewe na huwezi control your desires, yani. Only self control. Ama unasema pia binge drinking. So unakunywa in large quantities of alcohol. Ama kama ni cocaine or marijuana.
All right. Some people would say that, well, today is a good day. It's my birthday. Let me just go drink some alcohol. So can it be like some sort of chemical dependency, or is it just a way of getting along the day? Can you say that that person really has chemical dependency? When, for example, I'm like, today is my birthday. I don't drink on normal days, but then I'm like, today is a good day, so let me just go take a glass of wine or probably smoke a blunt or whatever. So is that really a process which can get me to become have that chemical dependency later, or it goes away?
I think it depends. For example, yesterday when it is your birthday, it depends how much you consume.
Yes.
It may be, for example, you have been waiting for your birthday for a whole year. So ikifika unajua tu utumie, so unakunywa kama azini ile tu uzime kabisa. So pia inaweza kuwa pia warning sign juu constantly mwaka mzima waiting until your birthday ndio kunywa kabisa.
Okay.
So singesema ni healthy.
All right.
Yeah.
How young can that chemical dependency, does it have like a specific age? Sometimes you have places where very young children are exposed to chemical dependency. But maybe some factors may lead to that. But when does it start? Does it start at birth, or maybe when a mom is pregnant or something? Maybe you can talk about when the chemical dependency can start coming in. How young?
So naweza sema kuna bado umesema kuna zile factors unaweza watch out for example umesema when you are a pregnant mother akona mtoto. So if the mother is drinking, juu kuna genetics, DNA and everything, kuna probability the child at a later stage in life anaweza kuwa introduced to alcohol because of genetic factor. Na muuliza kwa age I think adolescence, because adolescence inakuanga mostly about risk taking. So ukipatana na your peers they are drinking or drink, so utakuwa pressured to drink. So ningesema most probably adolescence.
Okay, yeah. So if some children will say that, some people will say that children may start becoming addicted when they are very young because their mom used to drink alcohol. But is it really like the thing that if an expectant mother, if I'm drinking alcohol, that means necessarily that my child is going to become an addict later, or is going to be exposed to the drugs? Does it really relate?
Okay, according to statistics, it's like, yeah, you can be an addict if your mom alikuwa anakunywa, but mostly haiwezi anza, unajua si lazima your mom akuwa anakunywa ndio uko unakunywa. But pia in culture inaweza play kama these people wenye ukitoka circumcision you are given muratina sijui nini. In real sense it's like unaambiwa you are becoming a man, but you're not becoming a man. We are creating an addict there. So not necessarily because a mom was a drunkard, that's when you become a drunkard. Culture.
All right. Speaking of culture, what are some of the ways in which culture has influenced the use of chemical, like has brought about chemical dependency? There are those places where they believe that if you take this drug, like I don't want to quote this community, use of cat, and they make it normal. So is it, does culture really play a role in chemical dependency?
Yeah, it plays a big role, because one thing, when this boy, he's becoming a man after circumcision, yes, but maybe he's 12, 13 there, umempatia moratina, umempatia pombe to become, ndo useme, amekuwa a man sasa. So there, atataka, akitoka nje, atataka kutaste tena. And then the fact that atataka kutaste ajue, venye nilisikia back then, nilisikia tena. So
yeah, it all starts with that small, that little one, like, hey, take this, smoke this, then you have that feeling. The next time, you will want to feel that feeling. I think it's something that just settles in the brain and makes your brain relax. And that's one thing people should understand about drugs, is that sometimes you'll start like really low, and then makes you feel good. The next time you come across the same drug, you'll want to do more and more and more. So if you haven't tested any drug, please don't taste it, because it alters the way you think. So what is the process? I start tasting, and like something like marijuana, I know has some few stages. You smoke the marijuana and then you feel good. When does depression start settling? When does it start now becoming out of hand, like that drug now?
So when it starts becoming a problem, as in basically the first time ningesema inaweza kuinterfere na your daily life, as in how you function normally. So if, for example, the first thing you wake up in the morning unafikiria maybe nafaa nipige blunt, so inafaa kuwa a red flag.
A red flag that you're starting to become an addict.
Okay. Naambia constantly uko nayo. Na pia yenye umeexplain sahi tunatanga tolerance. So for example, nilianza na blunt moja, ama maybe nilianza na kupewa maybe puff moja. So next time nitajaribu mbili. So ukiendelea kuincrease your dosage, the mwili yako bado inataka a higher dosage ndio ifike the same state, tunaitanga plateau. So ndio maana unanga maybe kuna wasi wanakunywanga maybe nitatumia alcohol because ndio iko available sana. So catch pamoja asha kuwa drunk. So kwa mtu mwingine maybe catch potatu ndio maybe anakuwa drunk. So
Okay.
you know tolerance.
Okay, let us look at parenting, because we know that nowadays it's very hard to control our teenagers. They'll go out, they'll watch social media. Most of the music that we have, the movies that we have, we cannot avoid these things. People are smoking, people are drinking in this music. That's the kind of music that the teenagers want to listen to. So now, what is the role of a parent in controlling chemical dependency? What are we parents supposed to do? How are you supposed to help your child whom you know they're in high school or they're going out there? How can you help your child? Or maybe your child has already gotten into the chemical dependency thing. What am I supposed to do as a parent?
So I think I'd say the first one, what Shelmi has just said about Moratina. Sasa kama unapata mtoto after circumcision na kuintroduce to you. So unapata parent the next time atapata mtoto akikunywa atakasirikia mtoto, but initially yeye alianza na hiyo problem. So pia unaanza ku regulate na sex education. Unajua mtoto akitoka nje atakuwa exposed to many things. Unamwambia utapata na drugs, utapata na kina cocaine, bang, so akuwa anajua ni nini na kadila aje nayo. Pia you monitor time yake, friends, leisure. Ndo na read somewhere pia kama uko na teenager na teenager wako wajua, ukipata teenager kuna vile expect teenager kuwa na act like teenager anajua kitu ya kwanza anakuanga kasema aggressive ama kukausha kichwa, but if you are teenager yuko hivyo pia inaweza kuwa warning sign, lazima yako quiet, hizo sana story mingi, inaweza kuwa pia baby anatumia drugs. So monitor your child, anafanya nini activities zake, pia leisure zake anafanya nini, friends wake.
Some of them would take that as meddling in some, you know, your child business. They are all grown up. So if, for example, we have different types of parenthood, you know, or families. We have single mothers, we have single parents, we have, you know, brothers and sisters. So me as a single mother, am I supposed to just come into my son's room and start checking and doing all that? Or how does it not look as if I'm meddling in this person's, in my child's business? Because by the end of the day they need their privacy. But how do I make it not look as if I am meddling in his business?
I think first your child, you should be your child's best friend. So I think kama upata niyo stage ya mtoto anakuamini na anything, I think unaweza kuwa more exposed to anapitia nini, anaweza kuja kuambia anything, but hiyo kwenda kwa room, juu akipata umeenda kwa room yake, pia mimi ningepata ninge room yangu, definitely get angry. So hiyo
All right. So when you look at the teenagers or the children, I'm going to put them in the same category: children, teenagers, and adults. Does chemical dependency have different effects on the adults and the younger people?
Yeah, I think it has a difference, because one thing, this is a child and this is an adult. So everything here, like an adult and a child, meaning mature, their brains, everything. So it has a difference there, the way it is going to affect both of them. So because I'm assuming because the teenager probably is the brain is growing, and probably they don't have good ways of controlling the drug. An adult might control it, but a teenager might not control it. Okay, let us go to now how these drugs, these certain drugs, cocaine, these hard drugs are used in hospitals, because you know sometimes they are used to cure pain. I think maybe you can talk about that, the medical side of the drug, and can it like become like some sort of chemical dependency? Is it a positive chemical dependency, or should we have other ways which we can control these certain signs of patients? Yeah, it's like morphines. Morphines, they are used for pain. So this person is dependent to that thing. Without morphine, tashinda nikisikia uchungu. So it's kind of, you are dependent to that thing. Even Panadol, nikiumwa na kichwa, I must take Panadol, so you can be dependent to it.
Okay, so some of these drugs are used in the hospital, and most of the time I get my students asking me, telling me, oh teacher, marijuana, cures cancer, but that's some of these myths that people get to hear. Or when you smoke marijuana is going to open up your brain, or when you drink alcohol, when tunaitwa kuchana, we call it kuchana in Swahili, you're like chewing cat, it's going to open up your brain, you're going to get grades. So some of these myths, I don't know where they come from, but maybe you can talk to them about, maybe you can mention a few of them and tell them, does really marijuana cure cancer? Because I tell them that it doesn't cure cancer. It's not used everywhere. I mean, it just takes away the pain. But, well, we can maybe talk about that. Yeah.
So I think for the one you're saying about cancer, I think marijuana is used in treatment ya cancer. I saw somewhere it is in the World Health Organization website. So walikuwa wanasema marijuana wanatumia ku treat patients. So as wale wanapitia pain mingi, like as in maybe wako na chronic illness, so pain iko constant, so wanatumia ku treat hiyo. But pia ningependa kuambia vijana, as in Google itakupatia answer yoyote. So kisearch if marijuana is used to maybe increase your IQ, nini itakupatia tu answer. Google hizi kuambia hapana.
Okay. Okay. How do I seek help? I am already an addict. I've already been into it, and I want to get out. Because as much as it doesn't look hard, you start by smoking, you start by drinking that alcohol, that small amount of alcohol, and then you start realizing that, oh my God, I cannot control it. Okay, so when do I seek the help? Okay, I know you told me that when you start like having some few symptoms, probably you start become violent. What else do I like feel like this person, or I feel that this person really needs to go to a center or needs counseling?
So as a friend, as an addict who is going through.
Okay, you can help a friend, or you yourself as an addict can realize this is the time now, I am out of control. Yeah.
So tumesema the first one, as in maybe utapata kama your health ina deteriorate. So zapata maybe kwanza through unaenda hospital. Na the problem inapatikana maybe ni kama unaendelea kutumia alcohol. So continuous use. But like ku admit.
Maybe you can talk about some of these issues that come with chemical, health issues. Like I know liver cirrhosis. Yes, you can go to.
So there is high BP.
High BP. Yeah. It increases the blood pressure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The alcohol has been linked with maybe high BP, liver cirrhosis, and also some types of cancer.
Okay, the high BP, because when somebody is drunk and then they get into an accident or they cut themselves, the blood really, okay, because alcohol increases the blood pressure. Yeah, because if you find that, okay, I'm not trying to compare accidents. All accidents are bad, but if somebody gets an accident when they are drunk, they have a high chance of not surviving, because probably they'll bleed more than when they're sober. That's why you're told when you're drunk, please don't drive. Don't drive, because they know that the alcohol that is in your body is going to make you bleed more. So yes, and you talked about some types of cancer.
Maybe you can see even the throat cancer.
Yeah.
Because when you use maybe like spirits, ikishuka unajua ikuangi unasema kupiga dry. So
yeah. Okay. So hey, I've never why, I don't know, I think drugs have some sort of I don't know, some sort of power, because when you're drinking this whiskey, it is not even tasty, but you still get it in because your brain is telling you, please take that into your stomach because you're going to feel good afterwards. And then you take it until you get used to it, and then you start drinking lots and lots of okay.
So when you see, when you drink, you become hooked. Because you're chasing that high. The first time maybe you drank or you smoked, kuna venye ulisikia. So the next time utakuwa jaribu nitasikia hivyo tena.
Yeah.
So you continue chasing. So unaenda increase dosage yako, dosage.
Yeah, and that's why when people like go to bars and clubs, you end up like you're going to say, I'm going to drink 1 beer, and then you end up drinking like 10 beers, and the only thing you do is just to go to the washroom, and then you come back, you add some more, you go to the washroom, you add some more. By the end of the day, you go home, probably unachapwa na baridi, unarudi home ukiwa sober. The next day, you're going to talk about the next day, what when you start getting sober. So yeah, you're talking about cancers, throat cancer, and stomach cancer. You okay? All right. Health issues.
I think the next one tunasema ni the brain. When alisema as a child,
yeah,
usiona mtoto kama adolescence, by the time anaanza kutumia drug akiwa adolescent, the brain is still developing.
Yeah.
Na brain cells endelea kuwa manufactured. So akianza kutumia hata hiyo time unapatanga mtoto wa shule lakini ashikanishi kitu. As in inaitwa brain atrophy. So brain yako hizi kuwa strong kama ya watoto wengine kwa mtoto.
Yeah.
I think pia kwa adults I think the brain matures up until I think 24, age 24. So unapata your IQ inashuka chini.
IQ inashuka pia IQ. Na hapo mnaambiwa ati ukivuta weed ama ukinini kunywa ukikuwa high before you start something. No, it's actually the total opposite. Yeah. Some people will say that it's not going to affect them immediately. They are like, nimekuwa nikivuta sigara for the last 10 years and I've always been the same. So it maybe later in future it might affect you, yeah? Or people behave differently when it comes to drugs, because there are people who will like smoke marijuana today and then they'll just overreact completely. But then there's somebody who will smoke that cigarette or use that drug for 10 years, but they're still the same. Is it like a difference what is it, like the immunity, is it the brain, or is it how that somebody is using that drug or the type of drug they're using?
I think the topic can apply, because I think you can't compare cocaine and alcohol. I think cocaine is much stronger.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But unapata pia ukitumia drug, for example, maybe uko na stress. Na unakunywa alcohol ndio stress zishuke. So drug yenye unatumia hiyo purpose uko nayo yake ndio itafanya. Yeah.
Okay, so the role of the government in helping to curb the chemical dependency. Chemical dependency is the same as drug abuse, so I think we can just use the drug abuse because of the term that is being used. So what is the role, how has the government played a role in helping to curb the drug abuse? Maybe the campaigns, or is it working according to the research? Is it really working?
Yeah, it is working in a certain percentage, and maybe in another percentage it is not working, because these people they are trying to kuacha these drugs withdrawals. So zimewekwa kwenye the ARVs zimewekwa, so these people are like, nikiendea watu watasema maybe I'm positive. So it is playing a part here, a positive part and also a negative part.
Yeah, I think what she's talking about is here in I'm going to talk about this Nyeri because I stay here. There is we have PGH, Provincial General Hospital, and there's this drug that is normally administered to drug addicts that helps them control the addiction, and I think they normally go for it as a dose, as a syrup. But now the problem is where it's found in PGH, but then where it's put, it's where HIV and AIDS people go to get their ARVs. Now, we all know that there's some stigmatization that comes with HIV. That person goes for counseling, everything, but then they are told when you go to PGH or when you go to this certain hospital, you are going to find that drug. But when that person gets there and says, oh my goodness, when I come out of this place, alafu nipatane na mama Njoki hapa atafikiria nilikuwa nimekuja kuchukua. So I'm thinking that the government, when you're setting up these facilities to help this drug abuse, put them in places where they are a little bit hidden, a bit Okay, because nobody will want to be seen ati anaendea hiyo drug mahali ati kila mtu anajua huyu ameendea tu sindano tu ya weed tu walai. Nobody wants that, isn't it? So even when you're setting up these facilities, I think it's good that the government considers where they set them up, and also even the hospitals themselves, they should know when and the kind of counseling they should give. So any other way that the government has helped to control the chemical substances?
Yeah, like building rehabs.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, let's talk about, sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So another thing, there was this, I don't know, a governor, alikuwa anaenda akichukua those drunkards and then anawapeleka rehab.
Okay.
So even though they were not willing, some of them they relapsed, I think he helped somewhere.
Okay.
So the government is playing their part.
All right.
Positive part and also the negative.
Okay. All right. So you have talked about rehab, and most of the time we just hear rehab, alienda rehab. But let us look at the inside of a rehab briefly. What happens when you get to a rehab? Is it like a walk in the park? Is it what happens there before a person decides that I am going to rehab? What really goes on there?
So I think I'd say in a rehab center, I think si kila mtu anangu akitaka. Juu unaweza pata maybe I am an addict.
Yeah.
I've used alcohol niseme hiki tu so nijipeleke mimi mwenyewe. So niko niyo self initiative.
Yeah.
So na kuna ule mtu mwingine maybe ni mwizi huko home. So maybe kila time anapata mibakuko, sungura, nini soko. So akienda huko atakuwa amefosiwa.
Yeah.
So atakuwa amejipeleka. So one rehab ni kama time wasting tu. So unaweza rehab, yeye apeleke rehab, afanywe kila kitu, counseling nini, asekwedoketiwe, but akitoka nje tena arudi kwenye alikuwa. Juu initiative si yake, but kule mwingine initiative ni yake. Unajua msee ako na self drive.
Yeah.
Anajua anataka nini.
Okay.
So akienda huko probability yake ya kuachana drugs itakuwa high kuliko huyo mwingine.
All right. There is need to talk to people about rehabilitation, because rehabilitation centers, because people will hear rehab, watu walienda rehab, but I don't know if there's anybody, maybe we can get somebody who's going to explain to us really what happens. Do you have nurses? Is it painful to have these, to get rid of these withdrawal symptoms? So before you go there, can you tell us about the withdrawal symptoms? I have already gotten over my alcohol addiction. What do I expect that period before I completely heal the withdrawal symptoms?
So zinanzanga, as in maybe unasema for alcohol maybe I think a week. Unaweza maybe kuna mood changes, then kuna irritability, maybe hata zapata flu.
Flu is a withdrawal symptom.
Yeah. Flu like symptoms.
Okay.
Si flu.
Yeah.
So after imeendelea maybe for example like a month, so kuna zile zingine zinakujanga. So unapata all of a sudden msia akona fever. Akona anger issues as in seems uncontrollable.
Okay.
Anaweza kuwa maybe sasa yako hyper, anatulia, then kuna kina insomnia. Hiyo ni kukosa usingizi, sleep disturbances. Then paranoia, mtu anakatwa ameshtuka tu all of a sudden.
Okay.
Na pia inaweza lead to depression.
Okay.
For the case of marijuana has been linked with depression. Kama unatumianga marijuana ama cocaine na maybe uko na mental illness, maybe for example your family kuna mental illness, so itachipuka haraka ukitumia drugs.
So for example, if my dad has a mental illness and then I use a drug, most probably I might get the mental illness.
Inaweza maybe unaweza pata your dad ilitoka akiwa 50s. So unaanza kutumia maybe kwa teenager. So then unafika your 20s ishaanza kutoka.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is why you find that when people go to rehab, unapata mtu amerudi tena kwa ile drug because they are scared of the withdrawal symptoms. How do you get them through these withdrawal symptoms? How do you help them?
So kuna umesema medication. So hizo medications zinaendangwa kama ni PGH. So unapata ni drug, si kama drug but ina mimic effect ya drug. So ndo wanapatiango.
Okay.
So ina mimic kujaribu kureduce hizo withdrawal symptoms.
All right. Yeah. Okay, and I know we are talking about marijuana, we are talking about alcohol, we are talking about cat, but people have not realized that there are other drugs that are being used that probably we are not aware of. There's this drug that is being used amongst our youth called vape. I don't know kama mnajua vape. I have never seen it, but I have heard it's some sort of what is it? Is it like something you sniff? Is it like a tablet? What is it? But
I think I saw one sijika ni yenyewe, but ilikuwa ni kama electric.
Electric?
So just, yeah, unavuta tu inatoka tu. Sasa juu inatoka moshi inatoka wapi?
Oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, and I hear that students could be seated in class, but then they have a drug inside their ball pens. Wanaeka, unaona kitu ya ball pen wanaeka, is it, can it be there, hiyo vape? So unapata tu student ameumwa tu kalamu tu hivi tu class, amekuangalia tu hivi, ama tu hata your son or somebody is just looking at you and the eyes are so ruddy, they are pretending they are listening to you. So what are some of these commonly used drugs that are there but parents don't know about? There is vape, parents, there is vape. Please check out for that. Please, tafadhali, another one. Ingine najua ni ecstasy, a pill.
Yeah.
Tell us about ecstasy.
So ecstasy, I think kuna category ya drug, I think ina fall under LSD. I think it's an LSD. So ni hiyo maybe inapatikana maybe mostly maybe at birthday parties.
Yeah.
Sile mnapatiwa tu mnakunywa, so usiku mzima tu unakuwa tu high.
Oh, you put it in the alcohol and then you drink it
too,
and then you just swallow.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what else? Which one is the and then there's this one that's normally put here. Yeah, that one you cannot even tell if somebody has it. Mtu ako tu hivi tu ameweka tu hivi tu and they're just high completely. What is it called? Yeah.
Mwana sim tu.
What is
So kuna yanekanga hapa. I think sina kwa ya beginners. Beginner aneka hapa, so mwenye aneka hapa na hapa juu.
So it has an effect, like there's a different absorption here and here. So this one is your pro.
Yeah.
Now you send your starter. These things, bana. I mean, parents need to be enlightened. Please, parents with people, just spend time with your children. Check out the behavior, the kind of behavior that your son or your daughter is having. If you notice some change, sit them down. And it is good that we be open with our children, our brothers and our sisters, because if we don't talk about these things, they are going to get them and they might not be able to. I think we are done with the first part of the show, and the next part you're going to have the question asking. So our audience and live, please make sure you get there and then you ask all the questions you'd like to talk about in terms of chemical dependency. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next session. dependency or drug abuse. And if you are watching us live, please make sure that you have commented below. Feel free to ask any question. So we are in the question segment where you can ask any question on the topic. So I will start off and ask, do girls behave differently with drugs as compared to boys? Is there any difference? Or in terms of behavior, like, do girls behave differently?
Yeah, girls and men, they behave differently. Because one thing, we believe that, not really believing, but when a girl consumes alcohol, utapata this girl, maybe I may take only one bottle, and the man I may take maybe 10.
Why is that? Is it like the biological or is it the emotional part of it?
I think it's kind of biological.
Biological, yeah. Okay. Can you explain more? Like you say that, she says that girls, when they're given alcohol, they behave differently, which is true. Girls will become more dramatic than when you have the young men. So unapata msichana amekunywa pombe, overreact, ameanza kulia, but boy anaweza kunywa hata chupa 10 na kai to the same na control. So can you explain that part, the biological view?
So biologically, unajua, for example, mimi na Shiremi hatuwezi fanana. Unaweza pata, unaweza pata ni huko kama mimi as a guy, definitely I'm more muscular than Shiremi. No.
Yeah.
So pia ikifika ile point ya naweza sema alcohol ikisema ikubebe, for girls itakuwa much more easier ama faster compared to us. Juko unapata metabolic state yetu iko higher than the girls.
Okay.
Yeah. Pia majamaa, as in guys, probability ya kuwa alcoholics iko high than girls. Unapata pia girls, men go through a lot. Yeah. So unajua for girls ama women, maybe when they are under intense stress, wanaenda kuongea chama nini salon.
Yeah.
But for us guys ni ngumu sana. So unapata maybe nienda tu chupa au anaenda kusmoke ama anaenda kuchana. Yeah.
And with that metabolism stuff, it will make you take more than the girl.
Yeah.
Okay. No wonder back in the university or wherever we go everywhere and you're in a party and you're not drinking as a girl, people, and probably somebody has some intention on you, they'll be like, why aren't you drinking? Because they know that if you drink, wamekushika. So yeah, so guys, now you understand. So kipa hiyo pombe, please have somebody to take care of you. It's not squeeze hata kukunywa pombe when you go to these parties. People have different intentions.
Yeah.
People will have different intentions. Some don't forget that there are people who actually been stealing organs. The world has become cracked. Yeah? The world is becoming worse and worse each and every day. Somebody will just tell you, hey, let us go for a party, and probably you don't even drink. You just take some little bit of soda, and then they put something in your drink, and then the next day you wake up unapata manze kidneys, imeenda manze. Imagine you just wake, and then they don't even leave you with one, they just take all and then they just put you somewhere and tell you, so madam, you can now go home. There's this drug that is being used called the devil's breath. Yeah, is it there? And it is being used in a lot, there's a lot of it in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah? Inaitwaje the devil's what? Mchele.
Yeah.
There's mchele, but there's this other drug that they are wanapulizia watu kwa uso, and then you just lose consciousness. I heard of a story where a guy just woke up in his empty house, and then his best friend is just sitting there and like, where are my stuff? Oh dude, you were telling me to move them yesterday. So like, why did you allow me to move them? Because you were telling me to move them and put them in a lorry. There's this drug that is being used, and it is being used for to let people lose consciousness. So if you're carrying a baby, we know African mothers tunabeba watoto huku nyuma. So somebody will just come and tell you, umebeba mtoto vibaya. So ukiangalia tu nyuma tu hivi anakupulizia, mtoto anaenda. So even when you're saying hi to people, be careful. Okay, so because of biological, does the emotional part of it affect the fact that girls will behave differently? Because you know that girls think with a lot of emotion. So when you take the drug, it might trigger the emotions. Does it really apply?
Kwa hiyo umesema kesi ya girls kuwa dramatic. Yeah, juu unapata girls wanakuwa dramatic. But
si wote.
Girls kuwa dramatic. But unapata guys kuwa aggressive.
Okay.
So as a girl akilewa, so ndio maana anaanza kulia, kutukanana nini. Bisa anaanza kupiga that text, so the emotions zinakuwa juu.
The drunk straight text in the paragraphs, and then mtu akikwambia okay una jam, why aren't you? Yeah, I know.
But for girls unapata girls wanakuwa aggressive sana.
Okay.
So maybe unapatanga wale kupigana sana. Yeah.
Okay, so now there's no kid. Let's assume that I don't want to turn to the drug abuse, which is the alternative. What are some other alternatives way that I can, some other things that I can do, some interesting things. I mean, I don't have to smoke that blunt to have a good time. Yes.
You have hobbies. If you love swimming, I know on Saturdays I must go. On Saturdays I must go and drink. I must go smoke weed. So, and I love swimming. Why don't you go and swim that Saturday instead of going to drink?
Yeah.
And then writing. If you love writing, you can be journaling. We say an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So once you're putting your mind, maybe I drink at 4. You're 4, that's when I'm setting my time to write my journal. So the more your mind is like
occupied,
you won't think of smoke.
Okay, so you look for something that you love. For example, if you love drawing and you feel like, oh my God, I have a blunt in my pocket, I have this thought that I have to drink, but you're like, instead of turning there, let me just draw something, kind of like, it takes away all that feeling, and then okay, fine. Is there any other way that,
therapy? If you really want to quit, I want to quit, yes, I want to quit. You can go in a rehab and go all the process of.
Okay, all right, I get you. So now, guys, well, those are my questions, but the audience and upper level, please make sure that you have typed in the answer, the questions that you'd like to them to be handled by Dubs Africa. We have Gameloft asking, is there any single cause of addiction? So keep the questions coming in, but in the meantime, you can go to the audience, or maybe you can tackle that question first. So Gameloft, shout out to you. Is there any single cause of addiction? That's a good question. Kindly.
I wouldn't precisely say there's a single cause, because people get addicted to drugs because of many things. Unaweza sema maybe somebody has lost a parent, maybe a loved one. So before apate effective coping abilities, anaweza ona maybe chupa ndio the best. Ndio inasaidia kudeal na emotions zake.
Okay. Alright.
Pia inaweza kuwa maybe iko fault yako. Maybe your friends were influence ukajipata ku addicted.
Yeah.
So sisema kuna single cause addiction.
Okay, so it just depends on what is going on with your life. Okay, fine. So let's go to the audience and keep the questions coming, those who are watching us live. So yes, maybe you can pass the microphone. Kama kuna microphone huko, pitisha huko nyuma. Feel free to ask any question. Thank you. Tell us your name and the question you have today. Thank you so much.
Okay, my name is Ezra, and I have this question. I was reading an article, and it was talking about dietary in alcohol consumption. So, is there anything like moderate drinking? Like you drink moderately, not, I think, responsibly. Is there anything like that?
Okay.
Okay, good evening everyone.
Good evening.
So my name is Frank Boma, and I was in this crusade and saw this pastor casting out demons of addiction. So I'm asking, is addiction a spiritual thing or a mental thing? That's my question. Thank you.
Okay, maybe we can tackle those two before we go to the next person. So the first person was asking before. Yeah, I see there's so many questions today. We'll get back to you, but I think we'll give them a chance to answer. Pass the microphone behind there. There's a young lady there who wants to talk. But the first question was about, is there any moderation in drinking? I think that was a question. Moderation in drinking. Yeah, probably can have somebody answering that.
Yeah. I think you can drink moderately. I remember when you started, you said about maybe it's my birthday party and I just want to get drunk.
Yeah.
And then you can drink moderately.
No, is that harmful? Is that okay? Can you say that that is okay? Okay, you want to drink moderate, you just want to drink 3 beers, that's fine. Or is there like, is it really okay to do that?
You see, when the alcohol, when you consume alcohol, you overburden the liver.
Yeah.
Because the liver, kazi yake ni kusafisha hiyo chafu yote. Na alcohol si kitu mwili inatumianga. So unapatanga mtu hiyo binge drinking, kukunywa mingi, so overburden the liver, ndo unapata liver cirrhosis. But I think if you moderately drinking, by moderate si chupa 3, I think chupa moja, though si advise anyone to drink, I think unafaa kufanya research yako. But I think if you drink moderately, itakuwa na effects the same kama yanakunywa mingi.
Okay. And like, okay, I don't know if it's in the Bible that as soon as you take some meal, you should take a glass of wine, and people would say that Jesus turned water into wine. I mean, it should have just turned into milk. So there's that thing that, the Bible says that you should drink that one glass of wine. But when you have the bottle there and you're like, let me just add another one. So is it really applicable? Does it really help benefits of alcohol or any drug?
I think it's only in Kenya.
It's only in Kenya? Of course, no other country. And probably South Africa. Okay.
Kenyans will find an excuse. Why do you drink Jesus turned water into wine?
Okay.
So,
but I heard wine has some antioxidants, like, that glass of wine might help a bit. Is it true?
But they're fruits. You don't have
to they're fruits, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
All right. So the next question was about spiritual and how the addiction, how is it connected to spiritual? Yeah, spirituality.
Okay, I think addiction is mental. I don't know if you guys.
Well, I think for me, addiction and spiritually and addiction, I think they are 2 different things.
Yeah.
I think they're 2 different things. What do you think? Because you cannot tell me that because I'm addicted, I've been possessed by the devil. I mean, what do you think?
I think what Boma was asking is between if it's an addiction, is it a mental illness or a spiritual? I think it's a mental.
Yeah, it's more.
Because you see, the mind is a, what do I say? It's one of the, as in, ejakuwa explored enough. Unapatanga, your mind is very powerful. So ukisema, I have to drink in order to do work, definitely that's what will happen. So I don't think there's spiritual anything there.
Yeah.
So if you condition your mind, you have to drink so that you can function. That is not going to happen.
Yeah, and
so it's mental.
Yeah, so we've been having lots of questions about the spiritual, side of it, and I think it's maybe maybe one of these topics you can talk about religion and maybe something like that. So we have another question before you get to the person, the lady back there. Maybe you can pass the microphone. Can I get addicted to painkillers? Actually, that's a good question. Like if I take all the time I'm having a pain and then I'm just like taking the Panados and all that. Thank you so much. Shout out to you, Ivral Fanuel. Thank you so much for watching and thank you for the question. Yeah. So can I get addicted to painkillers?
Yeah, you can. Because one thing, if I have a headache, then I'm taking Panadol. So once I have a headache, it's Panadol. Once I have a little pain, it's Panadol. So, yeah, okay.
Can it have an effect? Like, can the body get into the drug and then it stops working?
It can be used to that drug, and then one day you take that Panadol, it work.
Yeah, okay. So it's like some sort of addiction,
You need to take painkillers.
Every day I have a hangover, kamara moja. I have a hangover. The next time nikichukua mara moja, I turn to a stronger drug, and of course it has its effects. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So back there, maybe you can ask your question kindly.
Okay, my name is Susan. I wanted to know about the rehabilitation program, what it entails to be in a rehab. Thank you.
Yeah, I think we had talked about a little bit of rehab, and she wants to know what it entails. Maybe somebody in the audience can tell us, or even our panel. Yeah.
Okay.
rehab is mostly about, it's the medicational part of treating addiction.
Yeah.
What happens in a rehab is inakwanga, it's simple withdrawal to the drug, and then una replace with a substance which has lesser effect. Okay, you're using bang, they replace it with medicational drugs, you see, for a while, which have either not the same effects, which have lower effects than the bang. That's what we call rehabilitation. It's simple, ni ku replace too. So pole pole they'll get rid of that, the contents of bang. Kuna bang inakuanga na
Tetros.
hizo vitu zote za products zinaformingi bang from your systems, and then when I replace na other medicational stuff. But then I guess kulikuwa swali ya, is it painful?
Yeah.
Yes, I guess it's painful because one thing, addiction is psychological and physical, so it will have both physical and psychological pain. That's why rehab inaitangwa torture. It's torture because you are getting something you are used to from your system, and that's torture. So that's what we call rehabilitation.
Okay.
To add on top of that, kuna swali uliuliza kama kwa rehab kuna kuanga na nurses. Yeah. Juu obvious dawa si kuna zile dawa unafaa kupewa at this time na this time. So yeah, lazima kutakuwa na nurses na watu wa kukuwatch out, cause unajua kuna mtu anaweza kuwa kwa rehab pia, si kuna watu wanaendanga hapo juu akili maybe imeruka. Okay, not kuruka kuongea kwa ubaya, but so unapata lazima kuna mtu wako hapo kuwatch out over them. So rehab pia kama dhare ni hosi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So there are government and private rehabilitations. I don't know. Yeah. Sindio. So the difference is that I think the government ones they normally go for a shorter time. Yeah. And how expensive are they? Well, talk about how much you're going to spend on a rehabilitation. It's actually a lot of it. So I think it's better to prevent the chemical dependency. If it starts getting there, just try to avoid it, because every choice has a consequence. Choices have consequences. So the choices that we make today will affect our future. So we are talking about how to help us control the chemical substance. So if you have started and you feel that it's getting out of hand, try your best to get, to stop it. All right. So we have another question, kindly. Yes.
So hi.
Sorry. Yeah.
Hi everyone.
Yes. Hi.
My question is on like the services that are offered in a rehab. You find like most of the times tumepata kwa social media, like people when you're wameenda rehab na wakatoka, you find them complaining about the services, like wanachapwa, wanafungwa na chains. Like kwa nini, like why all that drama na tumekuja kusaidia? Like I don't get it. Nataka explanation kama kuna mtu anajua, like why all that.
These rehabilitation centers, so it's good that we talk about it. Yes.
Thank you. I am Harrison Kahindo Gashago. So I want to add my opinions onto those. I want to say kwanza nianze na huyu amesema watu wanaenda rehab alafu wanakuja tulichapo huko tulifungiwa and stuff. Maybe there are also signs of withdrawal. One is violence. Maybe those people wakiwa huko they turned out to be violent. Wengine wanafanya vitu mingi, plus they want to make up a story and sell it to you that rehab is bad, because of course they might get back to it, so that you don't think of taking them there again.
Yeah.
So that is one reason. Rehab, what happens, it's a lot of therapy and detoxification.
Okay.
So that comes with a lot of pressure on yourself, because now it's your body that has been dependent. That's why you're saying chemical dependency.
Yeah.
Not dependency on food, not dependency on mapenzi ama nini madawa. So now you have to change your body to be dependent on something else that is helpful and healthy. That is the reason why it's so stressful, and again you cost a lot of money uko rehab, and worse is that unaenda rehab and then you relapse, so you end up using like a 300k and then utarudi tena tu again and again. So actually when you are treating, huwa tunauliza mtu, have you been to rehab again? Anakwambia ya mara 2 mara 3. So you find what you can do with that person ni kumwelimisha venye anafanyia mwili yake, but they have been through that. Sometimes it helps and people get helped kabisa.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was okay.
All right. What are the chances of the relapse? Like after the treatment, what percentage is there for the person to, if the person is seriously taking the medication and following all the advice in the rehabilitation center, what are the chances of getting back to the addiction? Okay, if somebody gets out of rehab, what are some of the things they should avoid not to get back there?
The chances are very high, beyond half, that is beyond 50%, because now you have an experience. You're not coming from somewhere. You have an experience of how alcohol helped you and it was working for you. Hakuwa analewa juu ilikuwa mbaya kwake, ilikuwa inamsaidia in one way or the other. Vitu kaa hizo. So ilikuwa inamsaidia in one way or the other.
Yeah.
Ni shida gani alikuwa nazo that alikuwa anatumia dawa ama pombe kuzitatua. If the problems are still there, have you devised another way ya kumsaidia? That is the essence of therapy in a rehab.
Right.
You see? Because we said about the detox part, now the essence of therapy. The other umeuliza about watch out. Environment, if it is not helping you ama urudi tu kwa ile tu environment ulikuwa nayo, most probably unarudi tu. Ukirudi wale marafiki ulikuanga na wao, unarudi tu zile stress ulikuanga nazo, because I've said about addressing the issues that made you start thinking that alcohol is the solution ama any other drug. Yeah.
Okay.
And there was also some other questions. Nitakumbuka.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that. Probably tukikumbuka the other question you're going to answer. Thank you for addressing that. Maybe another question. Yes. Kindly pass the microphone. Guys, pale kwa live tukuwe na answers, questions. Feel free to ask any question.
Just a quick one.
Yeah.
I'm a coffeepreneur. Is coffee and chemical dependency kinda whatever your topic is? Could you get addicted to coffee?
Okay.
I'm an addict myself.
All right. Speaking of coffee, I totally forgot this. So kindly you're going to answer that question. That's a good question. I'm taking my cup of coffee here. Very nice. Shout out to Kahawa Chit Chat. Asante sana for your amazing coffee. Please come and promote his coffee. It's amazing. But tukikunywa hii kahawa, tuambie kama ni drug. Kwanza tuiweke kando.
So sisi sema coffee ni drug, ni coffee. Coffee inakuanga na caffeine.
Yeah.
Caffeine, so it's a stimulant. So unapatanga anytime una consume coffee, usingizi hakuna.
Okay.
So but kuna vile unaendelea kutumia juu ya that cases where mtu kama ni majani chai lazima aongeze kwa chai. Ndio maybe kama ataongeza anapata nomona kichwa. Maybe as kufunction vizuri, joto nini. So unapata kama ni coffee, thanks by the way. So anaongeza ingine. So it is ndio I think kufikia tu vizuri.
Okay, so it's like a mild drug. Okay, when someone is expectant, when you go to clinics and all that, the doctor will tell you avoid coffee.
Yeah.
So there must be a reason that it could be like having some sort of effect on the baby or the mother, because there are people who actually, Kazia said he's an addict of coffee, and well, yeah, in course. So maybe it has some small effect that might not be good if it is overly used.
I think for the baby, but for us grown-ups, I'm not almost.
Natetea coffee. Yeah. Natetea in that cup of coffee. Yeah. Okay, sawa. So it's not bad. Okay, just don't take it in large amounts. Yeah, let me just sip mine before the next question. Kindly pass the microphone.
Okay, my question is, can you maybe be addicted to a gadget? Because lately I've realized that I'm very addicted to my phone, which is really affecting my delivery at my workplace. So my delivery of work at my workplace. So my question is, can you be addicted to maybe I know it's a substance. It's a gadget. Sorry, it's a gadget maybe. So is it part of? Am I dependent to it? Because after nikiandika ka paragraph kamoja najipata mtandaoni watu wanasemaje, nani ako live, nini kunaendelea. So inani effect sana, of which inafika mahali hadi naangalia mtandao, yani it's very addictive by the and I don't know how to solve it maybe. And you, at the same time, you really need to, you're using it as an asset as well. I mean, you really need to know what's happening around you. I'm doing some marketing and all that, you know, so yeah.
We know that chemical and substances is related to addiction, but now these are different ones. So you can maybe handle that on addiction. He's addicted to his phone. Most of us are. Let's just admit it.
Yeah, you can be addicted to your phone. One thing, it means like, how many hours do you do without your phone? Can you stay without your phone? So yeah, you can be addicted to a gadget.
But I think it also narrows down to what you're using it for. If, for example, if it's business and you're receiving calls all the time utakuwa unasikia kama unapigia unakatuma like, is that my phone? And probably it's not the one that is ringing. So even the activity that are happening in your phone, what you're watching, what you're reading, the programs, the movies, YouTube, if they are interesting your mind, it will. But what I normally say about gadget use, because if you are seated as a family, you have gone to visit your grandma, you've not seen her in like 10 years, but then when she's like, habari yako, how have you been? You're like, niko tu sawa, sure. You're just on Instagram, and that is actually killing our social life. And that's why you find most people will end up being, our children are becoming introverts. They don't want to talk, they don't know how to socialize. So it's good that when you're having a moment, when you're having that date, when you're having that family time, just put your phone away. Listen. Gone are the days where we used to go for get-togethers and all the cousins would say hi to each other. But nowadays, kila mtu ako Facebook, ako Instagram. It's becoming a sad world. So it's a good thing, but let us not overly depend on it because it's killing our social life. Okay?
Yes, psychiatry. Just a quick one. Don't pass out my. Is that a chemical imbalance of sorts, an addiction to the phone or any other, apart from now substance and drug addiction? Because I think we have talked about other types of addiction in another show. Is there? How would you explain the chemical imbalance when you're addicted to something else, phones and the like?
So niambia nilivyouliza. So nimesikia kama muuliza kama ukiwa chemically ama kama ya gadget kama chemical na imbalanced in the body. So yeah. So ndo unapata kwa brain kuna inaitangwa hypothalamus. So ndio inaregulate the chemical imbalances kwa body. So ndo unapata maybe any time unatumia alcohol ama ni hiyo gadget, ndio muuliza story na gadget, kuna release wa dopamine. So dopamine hiyo good feeling. So una time unasikia kwa social media, unacheza game, unasikia tu kufun. So ndo unapata constantly ukolose unatumia simu ndo upate that feeling bado. So na utapata hypothalamus, so itaendelea ku release more of that dopamine, ndo endelea kusikia poa. So kuna venye interfere na the chemical balance kwa body. Yeah.
Okay.
Still under the same topic now, we're talking about chemical.
Yeah, chemical, so it triggers the dopamine. Yeah. The dopamine is the happy hormone, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's a good. Yeah?
What was the third one?
I don't know, probably adrenaline because it makes you scared. I don't know. All right, so before we go back to the audience, we have a few questions here and a few comments. So you have Ivral Fanuel, again, shout out. So what can I do at a personal level to stamp out addiction without rehab or therapy? This person doesn't want to go to rehab or therapy, but they're asking on an individual level, what can I do to stamp it out? Okay, then you have George Sheikh. He's saying he's here to learn, but then he has a question on coffee. Not a question, it's actually a comment. On coffee, in fact, consumption of 3 to 5 standard cups of coffee, Mr. Cairo, we are listening to this. In fact, consumption of 3 to 5 standard cups of coffee daily has been consistently associated with a reduced risk of several chronic diseases. Inaongeza siku actually. So he says that inatoa chronic illnesses. So it's actually a good thing, eh? Cheers to all the coffee drinkers. Chakazani sip yangu. Okay, so we can maybe you can answer this one on what can I do at a personal level to stamp out addiction without rehab or therapy.
So tumesema if you want to quit alcohol or drugs yote, so the first inafaa kuwa personal choice.
Okay.
Na kama umefika at that point umesema nimekuwa nikitumia hii kitu for maybe for 2 years ama for this duration na nataka kuachana nayo. So I think unataka kwenda therapy. I think unaweza join, kuna hawa ni tango AA, Alcoholic Anonymous. So unaweza tafuta tu within your area. So maybe unaweza join ama tena kwa online, maybe Facebook, unajua unapatana wapi lini. So you just join hapo. Those guys are just random, si watu unajua. So mnaona tu mnakaa, mnaongelea challenges mnapitia na unapata ukiwa hiyo, it's a group, so unaweza learn from more people. Unaweza jua maybe alikuwa na experience hii akatoka hapa kwa hapa sasa, so unaweza follow in footsteps, so ndio uweze kuelewa. Na pia unaweza jimonitor.
Yeah.
So juu kwa alcohol ama drug yote, singeambia mtu kama unatumia saa hii uache mara moja. Hapo definitely itafia na venye unawaka. Juu umezoea. So ningesema anza tu kureduce pole pole. Slowly. So utafika hiyo point venye utasikia sijatumia for this long. So hapo ndio tunasema you reward yourself.
Yeah, like yeah, I've not taken this for 1 month. I need to go for immediate treatment. Yeah. It's going out is yeah, manzi. So even self motivation also helps. You're like, I've been like 3 days I have not touched that cigarette. Hey, I need a good lunch.
Even if it's 1 hour.
Yeah, exactly. Self-reward. And of course, there are these forums, nazionaga tu kwa movie too. I don't know if they're in Kenya, where people just sit in a round circle and then they just open up. Are they there in Kenya? AA.
Alcoholic Anonymous. Yeah.
Oh, are they there?
There kuna Alcoholic Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous, Marijuana Anonymous, there are many.
Okay, and of course attend in such forums like this, because here we are going to, on our next session, we are going to have open forum where people will tell people about their story. It kind of like helps you relieve yourself. So I had a question myself, but before I go to the question, we have Game Love, shout out again. Medically, I think caffeine, which is contained in coffee, tea, and medical drugs, results increased chances of chronic illnesses such as hypertension and diabetes. Sasa tena contradict na what you were saying.
The ones against the ones. Game Love wongee kwa chat.
Yeah.
Tupate side yake na George Sheikh akwe pande yake.
Yeah, okay.
Pakata sioni.
No problem. Okay, so George Sheikh and Game Loved kindly tukuwa na debate pale hivi tutachangia tu. So
but I think adding on coffee, I think pia kwa drugs we just regulate, so overuse.
Yeah.
Juka coffee, if 1 cup is enough, so lazima ongeze kwa 2 3. So kila kuongeza itakuwa problem.
Lakini sasa unajua your 1 cup inaweza kuwa na whole container of coffee. Unajua it depends
it depends on how you brew it.
Yeah.
Wengine unataka cappuccino, latte na maziwa mengi. Na sukari. Kuna wale kawatungu. hivyo tu umekunywa hiyo ingine baadaye.
Okay.
Just regulate.
Okay, just
Yeah.
all right. So my question is, mommy and daddy, I'm a teenager. Mom and dad drink, or maybe one parent drinks, and they come home every night. There's always fights. There's financial straining, because of course drug use also comes with financial, constraints and stuff. So as a teenager, I want to study how, and I love my mom, I love my dad. I'm caught up in the situation. So how should I deal with this dilemma? What am I supposed to do? I talk to them, they don't listen to me. I try to change my behavior. How am I supposed to seek help when it comes to such a situation where both my guardians or my parents are drinking, and now I'm caught in between their mess?
So earlier sikusema, but pia inaweza kuwa risk factor. Hiyo ndio tunaita modeling. So unapata maybe your parents, they are both mama, single mom, single dad anakunywa. So you try to model that behavior. So jaribu kukua kama yeye. So inaweza kuwa, ndio nasema inaweza kuwa pia risk factor.
Okay.
So answering your question, as in how do you prevent yourself? As in kwanza unafaa kuangalia wana behaving aje. You definitely don't expect kunywa alcohol ukuje na ukue kufanya biashara zako vizuri.
Yeah.
Definitely there will be quarrels, nini, financial strain itakuwa hapo. So I think kama unaweza kuwa a child mwenye anago hiyo, I think you can learn. So ndio maybe kwa later in life usiproject that same thing kwa your family. So na pia as in try to get help for your parents. Ama pia uendelee kuambia alcohol inafanya hivi na hivi, hivi na hivi.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of being principled. You don't be like, now my life is messed up now because mommy and daddy are drinking, so I should end up like that. I think it's all about individual principles. You're like, okay, I know this is bad, because the good thing about nowadays is a lot of education about drugs. So even if my mom drinks, my dad drinks, I know I will tell them. They don't listen to me, but I know the effects that are going to come. So let us look at drug abuse in relation to sexual abuse. Okay, because I think that's a topic that is something that is happening in most of our homestays in our society, and it's getting out of hand because you will hear a father raped their daughter and stuff. So maybe you can touch on that. How are we supposed to go about that? It's becoming out of hand, especially when there was COVID. There were lots of cases of drug abuse, and most girls got raped and they got pregnant. So maybe you can say something about that.
Pardon your question, sorry.
I'm saying in relation to drug abuse and sexual abuse, where sometimes, for example, you have homestays where parents who drink and actually even sexually harass their children. So my question, probably maybe you can say something about that. What could be the reason? Okay, maybe the effect of the drug, but how can we help regulate that? Because this is a dad or a person I'm living with, but they're sexually harassing me every time they drink. How am I supposed to handle that?
I think if your dad is sexually harassing you, one thing, you have to talk it out. Hufai kunyamazia. This dad amekuja, just, you cannot blame alcohol. It's just because I'm drunk, I must sexually harass my daughter or anyone else. So if your dad is really harassing you, sexually harassing you, I think you must talk it out. You go tell, if your mom, maybe your aunts.
But this talking out also comes with threats.
Yeah, it comes with threats, but will you still be, will you stay there just because your dad is threatening you?
Okay.
You have police stations, you can go and report him, even if he's your dad.
Yeah. And also I think parents should also be careful, especially the girl child. Sisi ndio tunakuwa endangered kabisa. Well, as I said before, the world is becoming worse and worse and worse every day. Relatives are becoming evil, our friends are becoming evil. So if you see, for example, well, I think I might sound a little bit analog, but I'm thinking maybe I should say it. Uncle yangu anakuja home, or my dad is seated there, and I'm in the house, na nimekaa kutu kwa seat, na miguu, my thighs are all out, and I'm just seated benye nataka, or I'm just walking past them with a towel peke yake. I think if alcohol brings out the real character of a person.
Yeah, true.
Is that true? Or drugs. Somebody would drink if they are violent. If they're not violent when they are sober, but when they drink, they become violent. That's the real thing. Okay? So I think we should also get to talk to our daughters. specifically our daughters. I know the world is becoming, it's changing, you know, my dress, my choice, you know, and that. But amkwa kikuja pale, si ati you just be comfortable. You can tell the behavior of a child. You can tell the behavior of a child. If your child is being sexually harassed at home, what are those symptoms you should look out for? Is your daughter withdrawing themselves? Is your son? Because even there are things that happen even to the boy child. So maybe you can point out some of these things I should look out for when my child is being sexually harassed at home, especially if there is drug use at home. What are some of these things I should watch out for as a mother or as a father?
Yeah, that one, maybe this child anaogopa babake akifika.
Okay.
Akimwona tu, they run. Hataki amkaribie. That's one sign.
Fear.
Yeah, fear. Another thing, maybe crying a lot, kila saa kujifungia, kila saa hataki kuonekana, ama bado anaogopa the opposite gender. Hataki associate with, if it's a girl, hataki associate na opposite gender. So, yeah.
Okay. So is it like, I think I had asked this question earlier some time back, like when people turn to LGBTQ, probably they had a history of being sexually harassed. Okay, so behavior-wise, they just start withdrawing themselves, and can they turn to that drug, or they will never use that drug, depending. Some of them will say, I'll just drink lots of alcohol to get the pain out because my dad used to drink and sexually harass me, or some of them will say, I don't want to drink. Can it lead to more use later or less use later?
I think it will lead to more use because they are undergoing trauma na hawajapata time ya kuheal.
Okay.
So kama ni alcohol wataendelea kutumia because wanajaribu ku repress the unconscious. So akiendelea kukumbuka this happened to me na just seek help, ataendelea kukunywa na endelea kuongeza dosage ndio at least ajaribu kusahau, lakini hajisahau. Kwa hiyo deal nayo pombe hizi kusaidia ama bangi ama hizo zote, you have to speak it out. So kana kuna raswa, this is the first thing unafaa kufanya. Yakuwe ni brother ama ni father, I think just report.
Yeah, exactly. Feel free to talk it out. There's no excuse for sexual abuse. There's no such excuse. If you feel that you are being harassed, speak it out. The threats zitaondolewa na serikali, si ndio? And let us be supportive to these people who have undergone such. So maybe, I don't know if there's any other questions, so that we move to our next segment. Yes, kindly pass the microphone. Let me check on social media whether they're...
Hi, my name is Fanuel. My question is, because we are talking about substance addiction, can I get addicted to certain food, sugar, carbs? Like nisikia maybe dawa sijapitia kwa msewa maipasua. Siko sawa kama sijapitia kwa msewa smoky. Now yezi. So can I get addicted to such things?
The food, the ice cream, the mayai. Kwanza mayai. Pasua pale hivi.
Wengi ni njaa tu inakusumbua. But on a serious note, I think no magic condition hivyo. Because we said something about the mind. So ukisema because gender homa zijapitia kwa msewa pasua, sitasikia nikiwa fiti.
Lakini hizo mayai hizo slap.
Ni kujicondition.
Okay.
Ukienda home lazima nipige pasua.
Na hizi mawe tunakulaga, kuna hizi mawe I don't know if, okay. Kuna hii mawe watu wanakulaga wakiwa na ball, or you just feel like crushing them all the time. I think it's
after you give birth, you carry on.
Yeah, it's a lack of I think that's deficiency. Sindio?
Will you carry on after you?
Yeah, a lot. Calcium. Yeah.
Okay, I think addiction is broad. It's because now today we're just talking about chemical dependence or chemical addiction. You can just be addicted to someone, can be addicted to certain foods, your phone. There is sex addiction, pornography, masturbation. All those are forms of addiction. If you can't work effectively without certain person or a certain thing, that's addiction. So it all begins with your mental. Once your mental or your brain is disturbed, you can't function as an upright person without that substance, without that thing. that's addiction. Yeah, even a person. Yeah, you might go to an office, maybe umezoea lazima uone someone ameketi kit ndo utafeel
Kama yuko.
ama kufika salman na mtu fulani. The day ameenda leave or off, you feel like no, niko down because you are addicted. Yule ndo rafiki yako, bila yeye you can't work. That's addiction. So I think addiction is broad. Once your mental health is disturbed, your brain is disturbed, you depending on that particular item, that's addiction.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for those people, we had this talk some time back on addiction. So if you haven't watched it, please watch it on this page and comment. Feel free to ask any question. We are going to answer it online. And don't forget to click that subscription button for more of these shows. So yeah, any other question? Before we move to the next segment of storytelling, this is where the segment where we are going to have people opening up on real life situations or situations that have happened to their friends or loved ones. So having no other questions, I think we're gonna take a break, and I'll see you on the next segment. Okay? Yeah, so tukue ready kupatiana story. I'ma see you. of this show, and before we get there, make sure that you have hit you have gone to the comment section and you have asked a question, and feel free to share this link, and also out there you can also subscribe and share to as many people as possible. So we are on the segment of storytelling, and we have a beautiful lady here. She's going to introduce herself and tell us what she does. Karibu sana.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Jennifer. I'm a mom. Yeah, I guess I don't have much to say about myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we are on the storytelling segment, and I'm assuming that you have a lot to tell us today.
A lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So please, live pale our audience, tegeni maskio, will listen to our story.
Yeah.
Kindly feel free.
Yeah, sure. It's about mental health.
Okay.
I guess I will start when I started living with my ex-boyfriend. Yeah, it's about relationship and stuff. So it was I was young, very young, and I guess I was an introvert. I don't talk much, so I guess that contributed to. So it started with we were living together, and I felt like he wasn't reciprocating my energy, my emotions. He ignored me. Literally, he ignored me. So it affected my mental health. So I started having anger issues. Like I would throw stuff, break anything. I actually broke my phone. So you should watch out for depression. There is signs like anger issues, mood swings, crying, self-isolation. There's a long haul of it. So yeah, I could throw stuff that was scary as hell, because when the episode comes, I could take this cup and throw it on the wall.
Okay, so breaks. So like for example, you had like an argument with him over something.
Exactly, or he does something that annoys me. I couldn't control it.
What are some of these things that used to make you annoyed? Probably they could be like small things, but then you handle them differently.
When I think about it, some of it weren't worth it, you know. I was, he could, I could try talking to him, and then he put his headphones, and I was like, can we talk? And yeah, and then he removes his headphones, and I talk, pour myself out, cry because he did something. And then after the end of it all, he would say, you got issues, girl, you know.
Oh, that is annoying. That is annoying.
Was annoying as hell. Sorry. So, yeah, things like that. I felt like he didn't listen to me. My needs, my stuff, it affected me so badly. I could be good in the morning, and in the afternoon, I'm sad. I'm crying. So I had to separate from him. So a friend noted that I'm not okay. Okay, initially I know I wasn't okay. Of course, you feel it. You feel it, things you're doing, throwing stuff, being suicidal, yeah? Thinking of, I had a spot where I would go and shout. Like really shout.
It's just a way of letting out the pain.
That, and it at that moment wasn't helping, because I needed therapy. I need someone to walk with me, and I actually told him I need some help, and he said we can fix our issues here, you know.
That was a narcissist. I mean, really.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So it happened that I moved out from his house. It was too much. I was a mother then. She was too little. And you can imagine you depressed before, and then you get a child. The postpartum depression, it's crazy. You can do stuff, tough, and then afterwards you're shaking. You are scared of yourself. I couldn't hold the knife, because the only thing could come to my head is how I'm gonna stab myself or my stomach. Actually, it's not once or twice that he held it, where I am holding it like this, ready to take my life. It wasn't once or twice.
What?
There was this one, I overdosed. I don't know what I took. There was too many drugs. I actually got admitted for 1 week. It was that bad.
Damn.
So yeah, so I left, and I met a friend after relocating, and he noted I wasn't okay because I was having too much panic attacks, and when it happens, you can't even breathe. You sweat all over. Sometimes you can faint. Actually, he noted and he helped me. He recommended me to a general hospital here in Nyeri. There's a very good psychologist, John Kiarie.
Shout out to you, John Kerry.
Yeah, he helped me a big deal. So yeah, I started going there. I used to take some antidepressant, some, I don't know what, sleeping pills. I couldn't sleep. I used to stay like a zombie the whole night.
You had like
without
extreme insomnia.
Yeah, I couldn't sleep. It was too much. And then when you're tired, you're stressed, you go all crazy. All crazy. I know, and it gets bad that you fantasize on how to kill the person who is hurting you. I remember I used to fantasize on how I'm gonna stab him and see him beg me for his life, and it really make me feel good, and that was sick, really sick. When I think about it now, it was really sick. So yeah, it's bad. It's a bad experience. I can say that.
Okay. So, are you okay now? I mean,
yeah, I went to therapy for 6 months.
Yeah.
I took some antidepressant, some sleeping pill. It's been a whole lot of journey. Like, you don't get healed completely after going to therapy. Of course, you have to work on yourself, on some stuff. I'm still working on a lot of stuff. Let me say.
Okay.
I'm still working on it, but I can say that I don't have anger issues anymore.
All right.
I'm really okay on that.
So it's generally like a process you had to go through.
It's a whole lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Oh wow. Okay. All right. So that's deep. Do you like talking? Or how is he now? Is he like checking up on you or something?
I decided to cut out any involvement. It's okay until I'm okay to talk to him.
Okay.
But for now, I think it's better when he's away.
Yeah, it's better like that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Let's clap for her. It takes a lot to. Yeah. So I think David wants to say something. Maybe you can pass on the microphone.
I just wanted to know the context. Should have asked the context of it, why it was happening. The environment when.
Well, I just thought maybe she could open up on that on her own, if you.
Yeah, sure. It's okay.
If you're comfortable, kindly.
Yeah, it was still here in Nyeri. We used to live in Gangarithi. So it was a one-bedroom house, and I used to feel like I was alone. He would go to the bedroom, put some headphones, and I lived alone, literally. He couldn't come to the sitting room or stuff.
Did you ever for once try to ask yourself what maybe would have made him change?
Sure, it really messes with your self-esteem. You feel unworthy, useless, all those stuff. It comes to you and it hits you so bad, especially when you feel unworthy and you're giving it your best, your all, but it's not reciprocated.
Did you like know the source why he would just come, he just changed?
I used to ask him, but he had no reason. He has no reason.
Okay, so you mentioned that you had a child.
Yeah.
How was that affecting your child?
When you're sad and you're breastfeeding, your baby can see your face.
They feel it.
Yeah, they feel it. So I hated it. I really hated that because he was too tiny and too adorable. I hated it. So yeah, that's why I left.
Actually, something people might not know. I don't know how true this is that stress also reduces the amount of breast
exactly.
milk. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, if a mother is stressed up and they are breastfeeding, the milk levels go low, so the baby suffers.
Hormones are always everywhere. Sometimes it can just come out from nowhere. Sometimes there's nothing. It's not a good thing.
Okay, I think that's a topic that should be mentioned about postpartum depression.
Yeah.
Most mothers go through a lot of postpartum depression, even fathers. I think is there any postpartum depression when it comes to fathers? But mostly, yeah, is there? Okay, so I think this is a topic of discussion where we should have, we help young mothers. I don't know about the men, but I think I also went through postpartum depression, and when that time comes, I will talk about it. So and now you're fine.
After giving birth, I was still going through this depression.
Yeah.
During the pregnancy, and then give birth. That's when it busted. That's when everything came out clearly.
Yeah.
I'm not okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would think of choking her. Choking
People
her.
have never understood.
Even measure her neck. Like I would think of choking my own child. It's not okay.
Especially the child is crying a lot.
It's irritable and you can't take it.
Yeah, if people have never understood how bad that is. They normally say
really,
some
really
sort of
bad.
depression and you get over it. But
you need help.
Yeah.
You need help. When you feel like you can't take her cry, her noises, go get help.
Okay, so maybe you can have a person from DABS Africa. She is saying that she is undergoing the process of healing. She's not yet there, but well, I think she's 90% okay right now.
Yeah.
So maybe you can have a person from DABS Africa maybe saying something about that. Probably there's someone else who's undergoing the same thing. Okay, we have so many hands up, so we listen to all. Yeah.
Okay, sorry for all that and congratulations to where you are now. I think before I say anything or I talk, I just want to ask you, before you started dating that guy, how was he behaving, his behavior, and maybe what changed him? And apart from, you said maybe the tiny things, is there any major issue which made you to be that maybe depressed or that crazy, which changed maybe also your behavior? Please.
Kindly. We first of all know the source, and then maybe we can know.
I can say I really can't explain why he behaved like that. I didn't get to know him because I lived with him because of circumstances forced me after school and stuff. That's another story. So I really can't explain. I didn't know him well.
You didn't take time to know him?
No. It was random. It's like he helped me, He was feeding me and,
Yeah, I know. After college, you need somewhere to stay. You don't want to go back home. Yeah.
So what was the other question?
Okay, I think maybe what changed him to behave in that manner.
Yeah, the source. Like,
I don't know.
Is there anything that he did or it just changed? It just came overnight. He was like,
he
I
didn't
just don't
change. He has always been like that. He's ignorant.
Oh, so before you...
ignorant.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't say it's his personality because that sucks. But I guess he made a choice of living like that.
Okay.
Even, sorry to say so, if his sisters, his
No,
mom,
don't be sorry.
his mom also talked to me and he'd said, yo, you tried. Well, come to think of it, I think he needs help too, And he doesn't have a social life. He doesn't have friends. He's always on computer and phones. It's, sorry, he's a weirdo, kinda.
Okay.
I'm not hitting on him.
It's okay. So these are the red flags. You just ignore the red flags. You're like, this guy doesn't talk much, but I need to stay somewhere. I need food and all that. So you just didn't take time to know him.
No.
Okay. All right. So yeah.
And I don't entirely blame him for everything, like depression and stuff. I guess it was also childhood trauma.
Okay.
I got a lot of stuff going on when I was a child, so I guess it contributed. It was a pattern. I was expecting to be better here, but it went the other way around. So I think it was a continuous of memories and flashbacks and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So
On that one about childhood trauma, do you think it's both ways for your former boyfriend and yourself? You have understood on your end, but did you think he also, according to your mother-in-law, quote unquote, do you think he also suffered from
childhood trauma.
Well, I don't think so. Well, he's brought up by a single mom, and he's very supportive, and she's always there for him. I mean, I don't know. I think he made a choice. It's a choice of being selfish. That's all.
Okay.
If he makes a choice today, I'm going to change. I'm going to be concerned about other people. I'm going to do that and that. Trust me, he would. It's about choice, I think.
Or did you talk to him about him changing? Like, hey,
yeah, a lot of times. I actually recommended him to John Kiari, the psychologist. He went for few sessions, but John told me he refused to come back. I don't know why. Perhaps he felt uncomfortable, or I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to help him.
And the fact that you entered this relationship, probably you're just from college, you never had anything, so maybe akakudharau, like he was like, no, this girl is just here for the convenience and all. But I normally tell people, especially girls, well, before you enter into a relationship or a marriage, please have something for your own, something you can show. At least education is good, but if you're earning something, somehow this man is going to respect you. I'm not saying he wasn't respecting you, but if you maybe had something going on, and probably maybe things just piled up, there's a kid coming in, he also need his support, probably the money was not enough, maybe depression also settled in. Yeah, maybe, I don't know, I'm just saying.
Well, he was doing online writing, academic writing. I know he wasn't struggling. I would say that. My first 2 years living with him, I was working, by the way.
Okay.
I was working. So I don't think it's because I had nothing. I had a choice to leave, but I'm the kind of person who don't want to start all over, like start, a relationship, get to know other people. And I just stayed and I said, let me make this better. Let me make this home. So that messed me up big time, because I had no friends, by the way. I could stay in the house for weeks without getting out of the house. I couldn't talk. My neighbors thought I was treated well. But the fact that, I painted a perfect picture outside the world. I would smile. A big smile, like, that beautiful
deep down,
couple.
man.
But I was dying. Literally, I was dying.
Okay.
So I couldn't open up to someone that he is doing this and that.
Yeah, and the girls would be like, actually, your boyfriend is good.
If we go to a salon and they talk, I'll say he's the best man in the world.
He's trying to cover it up.
Yeah, and that too, that made it worse, because when I got to the house, it was hell.
Totally different person.
Hell. We couldn't even talk. I remember we could stay for months without seeing eye to eye.
And you're in the same house?
Yeah.
I don't need it.
Yeah. Just he's in the bedroom, the sitting room. If he wants to eat, he goes to the kitchen. If
What?
My question is,
Sorry.
For how long?
I'm sorry.
For how long did this take since you got into the relationship?
Yeah, let's fast forward, fix the microphone so that we can. Wow. Sometimes we just ignore these red flags. I think before you get into a relationship with someone, lesson learned, check their red flags. Check a little bit of the background, get time to know them before you settle in. Okay? So how long did it go on? Like, you live in the same house?
I would say 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah, 4 years. Almost 5 years, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 5 years of like half of it not talking to each other, going through this. Was there a time he was like a good person?
To tell the truth, I don't have a memorable day. A day I could remember that he treated me right. I can't remember. I think there's no day.
But you couldn't leave.
There's we came to town. We were window shopping. You don't buy something when you're window shopping, of course. So I saw this jumpsuit. It was really beautiful. So I tried it on. Do you know he left the shop?
What?
He left the shop and waited me at the corner, far corner. And the lady was asking me, who was that? I mean, he's your husband. He didn't have to do that to humiliate you like that. You know?
What?
He's, I don't know. I really can't explain his personality.
That is
For 4 years.
I mean, how can I just wear something nice and then you're standing next to me next
Imagine he is your partner. He's supposed to be there. Oh, you look
nice. We'll get that next time.
You see? But he left. He waited with the far corner. And
in front of everyone.
You can imagine, it's a boutique. Everyone is there. So you can imagine. And the lady asked me, who is this guy? And I was like, my husband. And she was like, he didn't have to do that to you. Then when I realized this is too much, I didn't talk to him the whole way back home. I actually went my way. So yeah, it's you need to realize if someone is making you feel unworthy, useless, like you don't matter, you need to leave, walk away.
Yeah, and let there not be like, oh my God, we got children. Oh my God, if I live here, what's going to happen? You never know what the future is holding. I mean, if you're unhappy, just go. But at the end of the day, is not what you do, is how you do it. Like, for example, like what he did was wrong. If, for example, so honey, you look very nice. I wish I had the cash would have bought you. Look very nice. Can you turn around, do that? But now he just walks away and and then the worst thing, he just stares at you like this. I hope you're seeing me. That was so
no, the lady had to get out and look for him.
Oh, he just disappeared.
I laugh, but then I could cry when I talk about that. That
it shows you're healing.
Or I'm healed.
Oh, clap for her. She's actually in a process of healing. Congratulations.
Yeah. I'm really doing a great job. I can say that.
Yeah, some of the things that hurt you in relationships and in your life, when after you heal and then you come talk to them, talk about them, funny. They just laugh it out.
They're usually so funny. There's this something that happened when I was a little. I laugh about it today. Well, that's for another day. So I laugh about it, but it wasn't really a pleasant thing to happen to a child. Yeah.
Okay. That's for another day, right? Okay, no problem.
Today is about mental health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing your story. Maybe you can have a member, our audience will be saying something about that. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm sure if you're going through the same thing, you are not alone and you're going to sort that out here.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Fanuel again. Thank you for sharing with us. It's an encouraging story and a tough spot to be, and I'm glad that you are getting out of it. And I pray and hope that in a few years you'll be 100%, not 90% that you are saying. So my question, sorry, I have to take you back so that I can connect the old dots about the story. When you said you started as he helped you as a friend. So did you ever sit down with him and talk about we are now entering to a marriage or a relationship, or you just met yourself being in a situationship and then you settled for that, yeah, maybe you settled for that, I don't know, so you can clarify that, please.
Most people find themselves there. You're living with somebody and then the next time you're married.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be a relationship. We were friends from high school, although he is a bit older than me.
How many years?
It was 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we came from the same area. So it wasn't meant to be. The truth is, it wasn't. Then he showed interest, like he said, "Oh, I like him," and all the stuff. So I would say circumstances forced me to live with him. Circumstances forced me to live with him. Yeah, I think if I had a choice, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. And if you're there today and you feel like you don't have a choice but live with someone who is abusive, maybe it physically, emotionally, or any other way, you have a choice. You can walk away, everything can be great. Starting afresh is not easy.
I know.
It's not easy,
Yeah.
but you can do it. You don't have to stay there and suffer.
Yeah, you know, by the time somebody wants to leave a relationship or something that they are in, they're like, okay, fine, I have all this. So when I start afresh, what are some of the new things I'm going to come across? What is going to happen to me? Yeah, I know that there's
a lot of challenges. Believe it or not, you're going to even miss the person at first.
Yeah.
You know, you used to see him 24/7. So of course you're going to miss the person. Starting all over, like you had a full furnished house. Now you have nothing. You have to like you're sleeping down. You can't even watch the news.
But there's some kind of relief that comes with it.
Exactly. Once you go on and on and on and on, believe me, you're going to feel much better.
Comfortable.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe you can have somebody addressing that, help them. Maybe I think all the questions that were supposed to be addressed to her have been asked. Maybe you can have somebody helping her through the remaining part and probably going through the same situation. A person from Dubs African can probably give some counseling. Thank you so much. Can maybe pass the microphone to her so that if you have another story.
So hi. Mine it's not like counseling or something. It's just to congratulate her. Like it feels so nice seeing a lady a step higher from where she was before. It feels so nice, like healing. You know, we've all gone through hell at some point of life, and coming out of that hell, it's a struggle, and I'm really proud of you. We, as Dubs Africa and Showtime, we're really proud of you. You're a hero, and you should keep pushing. Yeah, that's all.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Before did you turn to any substance abuse? Because I thought you did not use alcohol, and that was a good move. That was a very, very good move. Well, any other person? Yeah, at the back, kindly.
I want to congratulate you for that story and for managing it this far. But I still recommend, please continue with counseling because with postpartum depression, it keeps on recurring the moment you get pregnant again. So in future, make sure you still continue with your recovery, with your therapy, and I think that will help. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So maybe to add something, but it's kinda negotiate too. I'm saying like she said, it's good to know the person that you're dating and their story, evil, background check. But again, essentially it's supposed to like ujue huyo mtu, but it's only utajua huyo mtu and for compatibility. Yeah, sure. But of course you have to have an awareness of yourself. You have to know where you are coming from, your needs. She's talked about childhood trauma, and I think some of the deficits we are having and then carrying them to relationships, trying to like fill them ama address some of them maybe, and then you engage into something that it's not your calling just because maybe you need some attention, some other need, not necessarily financially, but just emotional and psychological. It's good to know your story and where you're coming from yourself, so that way you know your type and you'll walk in your calling. That way it is safer. And brutally scrutinize yourself, like this is where I'm coming from, I had this type of childhood. Well, hata kama ilikuwa mbaya, si ati nitafute njia za kunifanya. Don't play the victim, try to like jua nilipitia hivyo. That way, that means I'm compromised at some point. So if I'm compromised at some point, if I make rash decisions, if I engage something because I'm trying to address something that is temporary and current, I might miss on something and later regret.
Yeah.
That is why you find maybe the guy turned to be very something else weird, but again you could not have seen that at the beginning. It's not your fault.
Yes.
You needed him at that given time and there was no mistake. The mistake was just not maybe and ourselves not knowing you're coming from and your needs and your deficits, so that you can address them accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. That's a very, very important thing to know. Before you enter a relationship, evaluate yourself. Know your needs. What are you going through? Work on yourself first before you go to work on that relationship, right? So yeah, that's a good thing. Yes, Ken. Karibu sana. So nice to see you. Always nice to see you. Okay.
What I can tell you that there's progress. There's progress that is seen there. Many people have been into that situationships, not a relationship. They are called situationship. Then you try to grow out something which was not there. You try to rekindle something which is hata wewe ulikuwa unataka juu. Nasikia umetoka Geshagi moja. The
same area.
Yeah, they are from the same area. Kwa hivyo alikuwa anamuona. Si umesema amekocha na miaka 10. So ukiwa high school anakuona, so akaona umeiva sasa
umaliza. Did he used to see you when you are like a child?
Until I finished.
He probably
until you finished. That's when your eyes opened. You saw the Adam's apple. Akaona the Adam's apple. Akaona the Adam's apple. So many people have been victims of those situationships. And maybe you don't know what he was after. Let me say that, because he was not really interested in getting kids, marriage, to some extent, as I have heard that story. Kulingana venye mimi najua wanaume ama man, so I know kitu kama kifaa ulikuwa unataka kukitumia kwa muda, kikiisha wakati wake chafaa kuondoka. Lakini what you should really is that to move on, heal on, sasa focus on getting the strength to support your child with all that. That was a mark that reminds you of what you have been going through. As from there you heal, and then I think from here the future, nobody knows the future, but the future looks bright for you. You're young. Nasikia accent unaweza leta kwa radio. Itakaa mzuri sana. Ni sijui kama ni series umeona mingi, unasikia kuna accent fulani haina watu wengi. Amewatch sister sana. Dynasty.
Tunakuonea mbali.
Unaniona? Sitaki station nyingine. I don't know any station, but for me, what I can see is that he was after something, and when he surely got it, he wanted you to leave immediately. So, but wewe ukasema wacha nivumilie, mwanamke nikuvumilia. So ukasema mwanamke nikuvumilia, na unaona kuvumilia si kwa muda mrefu.
And always remember that there's always a better person out there. There are good people out there. So there are, trust me, there are, trust me.
So I think for me is to also congratulate her for speaking out and for being able to remove yourself from that particular situation. But I would like to know whether maybe you normally follow up on his whereabouts, or whether you know his current status. Do you think that he's happy as? Maybe do you normally find out have you ever been in communication again in a friendship maybe situation, just to know that he's whereabouts, or just to identify just to know where he is right now? And on top of that, have you ever were you able to find out whether do you think that he's happy currently as we speak? He's happy currently as when your relationship ended. Do you think that he's now wherever he is now happy? Because even for men, it's not always easy to leave as well. So maybe he didn't even find it maybe easy to leave you. Maybe he was a bit hard on you. You call them narcissistic, but the narcissistic people are the one who normally stay maybe for long, because he's been happy when he's oppressing you and when he's making you feel sad at the same time. So maybe I'll just like to know whether, do you think that, like, his current situation, whether he, you know how he is right now, he moved on, am I still looking for you? Because maybe aliona nilitupa kifaa mzuri, nilifaa msichana mzuri, wacha nimrudie. It happens, yeah. Maybe akikuona hapo hivi atasema acha nirudie msichana.
Yeah, Mr. Cairo, pass me the microphone. Okay.
First of all, thank you for sharing. Na I think I'd like to congratulate you because umesema hukutumia drugs and substance.
Yeah.
So unapata, because nilisikia ukisema earlier on ulikuwa na suicide ideation. So unapata maybe if ungetumia drugs ama ungeamua kutumia, odds zako za kukopa zingekuwa very minimum. Juu unapata the moment una abuse drug, as in nasema huwezi kuwa 100%. So judgment yako inakuanga chini. So maybe alikuwa unasema maybe ulikuwa na fantasy ya kuona maybe unamdunga hiyo. So maybe ndio ungeenda una commit your act. Na maybe si ungekuwa in jail definitely. So congrats kutumia drugs. Na pia sisi I think tukiwa hapa tunaweza learn your story. As in no matter what to go through, drugs is the answer.
Yeah.
Like kuna option nyingine. Alienda therapy na ilimsaidia. So drugs just for a while. So singependa mtu atumie. So just seek help na unaenda mbali. Yeah.
You took the right path. Thank you so much for that.
So yeah, I would like to say something about what he said about knowing yourself before you get into a relationship. You're right. I was looking for love, attention, care, a home. That's something I didn't have when I was growing up. So I know. I guess the bigger part of it, it's all me from past, life. So yeah, you're right. I was looking for something and I didn't get it. So it messed up my mind, my head.
So you came looking for it afterwards.
Yeah. And I know where he is. He's been trying to get back with me, but no, I'm very fine without him. So I wish him all the happiness, but I heard that he I don't know if he's happy doing that, but he's having multiple women. His mom was telling me about it. I don't know if that's happy.
That's a way of sometimes when people are trying to heal, when they know that they're losing something, they try to get, it's like a defense mechanism.
Yeah. So yeah, I heard he's doing that. Well, I hope he's happy. Honestly, I hope he's happy. I'm happy. I'm really happy.
It's very different. That's good. It's very different when a woman leaves a relationship and a man moves out of a relationship. It's very different. When a woman heals, she anaenda akiendaga.
Exactly.
Yeah, but a man might come back later. That's the two difference. A man will do something to you, make you suffer for quite some time, and then now you continue healing and you go through all those stages of healing. Like last time we talked about loss and grief, and there were those stages that we talked about. So as soon as you have healed, now the man will start coming back. But by the time he comes back, it's already too late. So are you considering
a beautiful bitch? I know.
Now you're feeling like, oh.
Yeah. So he's been trying, but I made it clear I'm not interested. I'm very happy at where I am with my baby. She's all grown. So no, thank you. He can try as well.
Well, he lost a good woman. I'm sorry. Chakula huna hasara juu.
Yeah.
Somebody is asking if you're going to the market.
Let me answer.
Already somebody is seeing. Okay, I don't know if we should wind up, or is there anything else? Maybe a general comment. Okay, fine. Let's have pass the microphone. The last comment that we check on time. After this, we are having this show. I'm gonna talk about it.
Yeah. So this is where I congratulate her for taking accountability, because that means you messed up evil, and you're ready to make amends for that. The other thing, I want to talk on behalf of that guy. I'm seeing a guy who was raised, you said he's from a single mother, parent. I am seeing a guy maybe mwenye aligrow na life sai venye iko virtual world, ako tu kijani, hana life, hana social life, and then he has become a product of a social life. Maybe he didn't have an option, something now he has become. Okay, for your sake and for your health, it is right to say no. You don't get, by the way, narcissistic people, their best dose is the truth. Telling them, hiyo inawamalizanga. Tell them, manzee haufanyi hivi na ufanyi hivi. Something else I'll maybe try, and I would encourage that, cut any communication with him.
Don't even stalk him.
Don't hata usitake kujua kama ako sawa ama nini. The problem is he's not here for therapy, but we feel for him, and I sincerely feel for him. Hata labda sisikizi story yake na yako nasikiza sasa yeye. Sahi nimekaa hapa. So, but the problem is si yako hapa. We can see you. So cut any communication with him. Don't hata usitake kujua ama hiyo like kumwambia I'm not doing this, I'm at that. He should not even know that, because these people tend to be very cunning, and they will come with all sorts of selves and shapes, and they'll tend to be something else. True story. So the time you unamwambia I don't want to be kuna labda unaongezanga, but hata bila kusema hiyo like you're checking up on him means you're trying to be a friend, ama you're acting as a friend, not trying. You're being a friend because being human. They work around that too, because that is what feeds their ego, and that's what feeds their happiness. Again, I'm seeing a sick person, a guy who is maybe trying to deliver himself from those shackles. I don't know what can be done for him. Dabs Africa manze, tusikuwa tu tunasikia hii story alafu tuko hapa tu na victim, si ndio? But atujio mse mwingine, because we know he's a product of social grooming. Maybe it's hana venye anaweza jiokoa. It's, I don't know how we can reach such people, but I know something can be done. But for our sake, those who know, let us understand ourselves and where we are coming from, and know what we are getting into. Because if you are good, you'll attract good people. Work on yourself, work on every aspect of yourself, and you'll have the best. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Victor?
Okay, one thing I'll really applaud you for is, the same, taking accountability. The fact that, in such situations, people tend to throw stones at the other guy was the bad one, but you acknowledge at some point maybe it was from your childhood and all that. That's something I would really applaud you for. And the other thing is, Kahindo praised it, is, I was also feeling for the guy, because to some point I was trying to figure out who this guy is, why was he acting like this, you see. But okay, we have the victim, we don't have the perpetrator, but then maybe the perpetrator has their own story. That's the thing about mental health. You can't throw stones at anyone. Maybe he was doing that unknowingly. Nasema alikuwa na headphones. Maybe it was his way of distraction from something else. Ama from things maybe he saw while growing up, on a lot of stuff. Yeah. And that's the thing. We should try as much as, we as South Africa will try to show both sides of the story, which is a bit hard. Maybe if he's willing to tell us the other side of the story.
All right.
But that's the thing. I really applaud you for that, and you're happy. That's all that matters.
Congratulations. So the last comment maybe before we wind up. Thank you so much.
Singetoka hapa kama sijaongea. Hi guys.
Hi.
I am Chris. Gender balance. I am Kristen. and I'd like to really congratulate you. You're so brave to come here and tell us your story. It means a lot, yeah? And you've given support to some of us, like by you coming out and telling us what you went through. Najua imeongelesha mtu hapa, you know, we never know, and thank you for that. And maybe something I'd like to add on, mostly when people come out of an abusive relationship, they try to look for what they missed by rushing into other relationships.
Yeah.
And so I will not recommend that, because what happens is, yes, you will find that other, let's say 20% is what you were missing in that relationship you were in. Then you go find it, yeah? What happens is you will tend to bleed on this person. Now you no longer become the victim, you become the abuser. Yeah. Because you were bleeding onto someone else. So when you're injured, what do? You dress your wound.
Yeah.
You don't go bleeding on other people. So dress this wound, address it, heal first. Figure out what are your own toxic traits. What might you have picked up from that toxic relationship that you feel utapelekea kwa huyo mtu mwingine. You know, figure that out, and when you have that mapped out and you know you're okay with moving on to another relationship, then you can do that. And nasemanga hakuna timeline ya kuheal. You know, you can take as long as you want. You can take, 10 years even, like ini yako, you're the one who knows yourself, you're the one who's healing. You're not on a time bomb. Si ati utalipuka ama kitu kayo, you know. So yeah, but congratulations and keep healing. It's happiness looks good on you.
Yeah,
and
it looks so good on you. And last time we had a topic on loss and grief. Yeah, so you watch it. Maybe you can go to the page and maybe whatever she's talking about, I think was mentioned last time. So
I have been there.
Yeah,
I lost my mom when I was 10.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, you watch that, and yeah, and I hope all goes well to you. And the fact that he's trying to come back, sometimes we have men have lots of ego. So they're like, she left me, I cannot allow this to happen. So probably he could be coming back to destroy you completely. Yeah, so he probably could be coming back to destroy you completely. So better off move on. And well, as she has said, there's no timeline for healing. As soon as you heal, that's the time you move on.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. He liked to watch, real stuff, like someone drawing himself from the farthest floor, and he watches that, or an accident, a live accident. It's really scary. So I don't think it's okay. I hope he gets help. I don't really think it's okay. He's messed up.
He liked watching
stuff like those.
Gross.
In fact, if you have his number, and you can view his status, WhatsApp status, they are really sometimes so scary. So I think he need help, like ASAP, because if he continues like that, he will have the urge to do it on himself or someone else. So
can you try to talk to his mom so that at least he gets...
Well, I actually tried to take him to Carrier, even after everything. So he went for a few sessions and he left. I really don't know how to help him, but I'm not an animal. I would like him to be okay. So I don't know how he can be helped.
And are you sure after he watches this show, you're going to be safe when you're like, do you live in the same area still? Like
when we were living together, he would don't want to see it. It's traumatizing. It's something really traumatizing. It's live. Someone is being, it's really weird. It's sick. So I really hope he gets some help. It's not normal. You're lucky you walked out early. Exactly. Probably would have done the same to you. Exactly. So I really hope he can get some help if he sees this. Okay. Which I doubt he will. And I don't talk with him. I don't. His mom is the one trying to update me. But you can tell how I don't care. You still live in the same neighborhood? No, not really. I don't know where he is. I have no idea of his whereabouts. So I just hope he gets help.
Okay.
That's all I can say.
Wherever he is, if he's watching, kindly reach out for help because you are not okay.
He's not.
Wherever he is not okay. He needs lots of help. So thank you so much for sharing your story and also trying to help your friend because I'm sure as much as all these things have happened, there's still a part of you that wouldn't want him to go down the drain. And this, I know
human, so
yeah, exactly. So thank you so much for that story. It's funny how one topic can lead to another. Substance abuse, substance use and all that, and now has led to another whole new topic, which we really appreciate because there's probably somebody at this moment who really needed to hear that. So thank you so much for coming today. We appreciate
can
it.
Highlight the signs of depression?
Sure.
My experience, I had anger issues. I was really like, I could get irritated by some little stuff. In fact, I would wash niko kwa sink, I'm trying to wash kiria vikombe za kaulo and ianguke. That would make me mad, and I would throw it on the wall. That wasn't okay. And then later you're going to feel guilty. You're going to be scared of yourself. Can you imagine? It's really not a good thing. And another thing, it's mood swing. I would be really happy, feeling all hyped up. I'm dancing and stuff in the morning, but in the evening I'm crying, or I'm just angry at nothing. Sometimes it's confusing when you don't understand yourself. It's you feel like you're busting. So yeah, and then you feel unworthy. You feel like, you know, if when a party you don't want to be around people, you don't want to talk to people, you don't want to do nothing. You just, sometimes I could stay at home and do nothing the whole day.
Just lie on the bed?
No, not even in my bed, on a sofa like this. I'll stay on the same spot for hours.
There's even that behavior when somebody is stressed, they normally like kujikunja, you just hold yourself because the pain comes from the stomach.
I'll go to the bathroom and lock it from inside and stay for a whole day. You can imagine that. So it wasn't really okay. If you feel like you need to isolate yourself, you know, the key point here is talk.
Yeah.
Talk to a friend, talk to someone you can trust. You know, someone who won't judge you for what you're saying.
That's true.
Talk. I usually talk, and I actually, on my WhatsApp, I have some friends that always talk to me, bring their problems to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh. But I listen to them, and if I have something to say, I tell them if I can help.
If you can help.
And I'm glad I can do that. You know, if this could go further, I would really like to be like a
counselor, someone who can get people out of
not really a counselor, but you know, mental awareness health. I always tell people that your mental health matters. You know, your mental health, no matter what, check your mental health.
That's true.
Yeah. So yeah, that I get. And did I leave any side? There's mood swing, there's anger issues, there's
appetite wise. Did you like eat much? Did you like eat less?
Eat a whole thing.
Yeah, that's one symptom.
You know, you want to feel something. You know, you're all empty.
You're trying to replenish that thing with something else.
So if being so full is gonna make you feel something, it's a good thing I didn't get some drugs, some plants, you know. But I tested later. It's, oh my God. Yeah, so you want to feel something, you know. Forget I said that. You know, you just want to feel something, some belonging. You know, you just want to feel something because you're so empty. So I would eat. I was so big, by the way. I would eat, and I suffered from hormonal imbalance.
Yeah, that too. Pimples coming all the.
I didn't have those, but I was so big, so huge. I was eating all over the place. So if you see those signs, you need to talk to someone. You know, as early stage, you can talk to a friend and you'll be okay. But if you like, it's something you can't control. You know, I remember there was this day, he did, I asked for something. My baby was 6 months and he didn't give it to me. It was almost 1 a.m. So I walked away from the house. I walked and walked. I was actually running, yeah. I went running because I felt if I stayed there, I'm going to kill someone. And there was a baby.
What exactly did you ask for?
I can't really remember. It's something very silly.
Only asked for chocolate.
So angry. I went out. I was running. Nilijipata scooter.
From Gangarithi to
and
scooter.
I was running. I was
1 a.m.
I'm telling you. And I was like, oh my God, where am I? So I started shaking. I was like, oh my God. And I didn't even have my phone.
And you left him with the baby and
with the baby. That's when I realized it's I'm crashing. Yeah. And then later on I feel guilty that I left my baby. You know, it's so confusing. The whole thing it's a lot. So if you feel like that, talk to someone. It's very important. Don't put yourself, pile up stuff on your heart, and just talk. I usually talk a lot these days, by the way.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I do talk a lot, and I have friends. Surprisingly, I have a lot of friends now. I was able to socialize. So yeah, the depression was putting me couldn't allow me to socialize. Because when people are bragging, oh, I have this, you know, I had nothing to brag about. So no, let me stay in the house.
So other people happy, especially couple.
No. I said, oh, that's really cute. And then I would, in back in my head, I was like, damn,
man, is the
couldn't
worst.
I have this?
Yeah.
But you know, I painted a perfect picture. When we were at in public, you could say we were the best couple in town. But you know, when we separated, everyone was like, what?
Yeah, they were like, what?
No way. They are too perfect for each other. We could smile, talk, but when we are in the house, it's another whole story.
That's why I tell people what you see in the outside, even on social media, it's not always the case. People have skeletons in their closets.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and they're darker.
They're
really
darker.
dark.
So, all right. So thank you so much for sharing that. Now see how the chemical dependency led to addiction. We have talked about depression. We've talked about so many things, and that's what this show is all about: mental health awareness. And I know that somebody out there has been helped. Maybe you're going through this situation, you're going through this whatever you're going through. This show is meant to help you. Please make your way here to Showtime Cinema Nyeri, and if you're not able to come here, watch it live on YouTube, on Facebook. We put up the link there. Please feel free to ask anything. Thank you so much for being part of the audience. Thank you so much, our audience. Clap for yourselves, Manze. You've been a great audience. You have been patient. You have been supportive. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and I hope all goes well to you.
Thank you.
For you, Ebin. So we'll see you on the next show on Saturday, and don't forget that every Wednesday we have a live talk with Dubs Africa. So we're going to put in the link to put up the link so that you also contribute there. So we are going to put up posters for the next topics, and feel free to also suggest on the topics you would like us to address. I've been your host, Washerage Konyo, and I hope that these and many other shows that you're going to have are going to be of help to you and to many others outside there. Thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe.